Exercise, Health and Lifestyle by Maximus Smith. Alcohol. Alcohol is classed as a drug and is also classed as a depressant, meaning that it will slow down vital functions of the body. The use of alcohol can result in slurred speech and unsteady movement. Alcohol has a huge effect mentally, as it can impair your ability to think straight and can also hugely impair your judgment. There are lots of short-term effects of alcohol, which can include a loss of coordination, vomiting, reduced body core temperature, and raised blood pressure, which can then lead on to long-term diseases, which can be caused by consumption of alcohol. However, the long-term effects of alcohol are much more severe than short-term, as the effects of long-term drinking include memory loss, raised blood pressure, diminishing grey and white matter in the brain, and irregular heartbeat, which can all lead to serious and fatal diseases within the future. The way that alcohol affects your body is that when it enters the bloodstream, the ethanol from the alcohol and its molecules are small enough to pass through the gaps between the brain cells. The ethanol then interferes with the neurotransmitters with the brain, which impairs all the functions that the brain would normally perform. The way that alcohol affects the brain is that the ethanol blocks the chemical signals from the brain, which means that the rest of the body does receive information, and therefore you can start to act with impulsive behaviour, poor memory and slow reactions and reflexes. The effects of alcohol on the body include damage to the brain, nervous system, pancreas and liver. The way that alcohol affects the liver can be very severe, as the liver is what normally produces harmful substances out of the body. However, alcohol can interfere with that process, and therefore the harmful substances won't be removed from the body and can start to deteriorate the liver. The harmful substance can't be processed out of the body, and therefore this can cause harmful diseases in the future. Alcohol can affect males and females differently as well. Males are affected by alcohol less than women. This is because alcohol is stored within the body water and not body fat. And because women have more body fat, this means they have less body water, which means when the alcohol is consumed, it is in a much more concentrated area, and therefore they are affected worse by it. Overall, women are more prone to the effects of alcohol, which is mainly due to the body composition differences between men and women, such as body water content. Also, because women are typically smaller, it means that they have lower body volume, therefore it circulates around the body much quicker than the alcohol in a man's body, and therefore they will feel the effects a lot quicker. Males typically are larger, and the alcohol takes longer to circulate through the body, and therefore it will not affect men as quick as it does to women. There are certain guidelines that are set in terms of alcohol consumption that have been set by the NHS, which state that men and women should not be drinking more than 14 units of alcohol per week, as it can lead to potential serious damage and disease within the further future. Another guideline is that if you're drinking more than 14 units per week, then you should be spreading it out over the week and not in one night, as it can lead on to very serious short-term health issues, which can then lead on to diseases within the long term. A study completed by John within April 2018 through from 2014 to 2017 says that male binge drinkers who exceed the limit consume more normal strength beer, lager or cider than women through all ages, as well as a stronger beer, lager and cider. When it comes to spirits and liquors, more males 16 to 24-year-olds consume more than 16 to 24-year-old females. However, all other ages, women consume more than men. This also applies to sherry and martinis, wine and champagne. For the drinkers who did not exceed the limit, men of all ages did drink more than women on a normal strength, strong beer, lager and cider. For the spirits and liquors, women of all ages consume more than men. This is also for sherry and martinis and wine and champagne. Smoking. Henningfield et al. 2019. Smoking is the act of inhaling and exhaling the fumes of a burning plant. Unlike alcohol consumption, where there are guidelines to how much you should consume for it to be safe, there are none for smoking, as it is so harmful. This is proven by the number of research studies involved into smoking and the statistics surrounding it. In the UK, 1 in 5 adults smoke, which is equivalent to 7.4 million people, which is more than the population of Scotland. In August 2013, Partnerships service staff stated that teens whose parents have ever smoked are more likely to become smokers even if their parents quit before they were born, according to a new study. Teens with older siblings who smoke are also more likely to start using cigarettes. This might be because if younger people see family who smoke, they will think that from a young age it's okay to do so, and will be oblivious to the side effects that smoking can cause. Younger people can also be influenced to smoke by their friends, which is another big reason as to why younger people start smoking at such a young age. Another reason as to why younger people will smoke is because they aren't heavily told that smoking is really bad for you. From my experience, I know on PSHE days they'll mention that smoking is bad, but they mainly focus on the sex education side of things. So if there were more opportunities explained into how smoking affects you, there may be a decrease in the number of smokers. On the slide, there is the graph that shows the number of smokers who have quit, and there's still the current smokers over the years. Just before the start of the 80s, you can see that there is a crossover in the numbers that smoke and who have quit. This would be mainly due to the ban of cigarette ads at this point in time, which was caused by President Richard Nixon, who signed the Public Cigarette Smoking Act. Due to the advertisement of the negative effects of smoking, the number of current smokers kept decreasing and the number of quit smokers increased. You can see this on the graph as there is a big increase in the quitter smokers in 2006, when it became illegal to smoke in enclosed public places and for people under the age of 18 to purchase tobacco. When smoking, there is a massive health risk that the smoker puts themselves at when doing it. Even if you're not smoking, you can still be affected by the side effects through passive smoking. This is when you inhale cigarette smoke when not smoking. Stafford Brown et al. 2007 stated that smoking kills around 14,000 people in the UK each year, and 300 people die as a result of smoking. All of these deaths occur from a range of diseases, including coronary heart disease, multiple cancers, and lung infections. The products that do the most damage in the cigarette are tar, nicotine, and carbon monoxide. Tar is a cause for coronary heart disease, as it blocks up the artery, reducing the space for blood to flow back to the heart and eventually block up the artery, causing a heart attack. Carbon monoxide is inhaled when smoking a cigarette, so when it's in the alveoli, it will be replaced by the oxygen that is being diffused into the capillaries, so that the body can't be provided with oxygenated blood. This causes the heart to work harder than necessary because it isn't receiving the right amount of oxygen. This would be good for any person taking part in physical activity, especially an endurance event. This is because they heavily rely on the oxygen as a supply of energy, and if this isn't being diffused, the athlete will struggle because they will not be able to work as quick as they can. Carcinogens are substances in cigarette smoke that causes cancers. They cause the cells to change and have an uncontrollable growth, therefore causing cancer. Stress. In 2019, the Mental Health Foundation defined stress as stress is our body's response to pressure from a situation or life event, which contributes to the stress can vary hugely from person to person and differs according to our social and economic circumstances, the environment we live in, and our genetic makeup. Stress is the body's reaction to change that requires an adjustment or response. The body reacts with physical, mental, and emotional responses. You can experience stress from your environment, your body, and even your thoughts. Even positive changes can cause stress, like a promotion at work or childbirth. The human body is designed to experience stress and react to it. Stress can be positive, keeping us alert, motivated, and ready to avoid danger. Stress becomes negative when a person faces continuous challenges without relief or relaxation between stresses. As a result, the person becomes overworked and stress-related tension builds. This autonomic nervous system has a built-in stress response that causes physiological changes to allow the body to combat stressful situations. The stress response is known as the fight or flight response. It is activated in case of an emergency. However, this response can be chronically activated during prolonged periods of stress. Prolonged activation of the stress response causes wear and tear on the body, both physical and emotional. Stress that continues without relief or the long-term effects of stress can lead to a condition called distress, which is a negative reaction from stress. Distress can disturb the body's internal balance or equilibrium, leading to physical symptoms such as headaches, an upset stomach, increased blood pressure, chest pain, and problems sleeping. Emotional problems can also result from distress. These problems include depression, panic attacks, or other forms of anxiety and worry. Research suggests that the stress also can bring on or worsen certain symptoms or diseases. Stress is linked to the 6 of the leading causes of death: heart disease, cancer, lung alignments, accidents, cirrhosis of the liver, and suicide. Stress also becomes harmful when people engage in the compulsive use of substances or behaviors to try and relieve the stress. These substances or behaviors include food, alcohol, tobacco, drugs, gambling, sex, shopping, and the internet. Rather than relieving the stress and returning to the body to a relaxed state, these substances are compulsive behaviors that tend to keep the body in a stressed state and cause more problems. The distressed person becomes trapped in a vicious circle. Short-term effects of stress can be headaches, dizziness, increased heart rate, exhaustion, weight fluctuations, and many more.